Tigers, Bulldogs, Saints. Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Good morning. Tom Duggan for the Blitz, alongside Kelly Piper and Coach Chris Vance. Kelly didn't get the orange memo, but that's all right.
I'm going to be like the guy that does the signals for defense.
You said wore that awful color.
Well, it was like a new shirt I had, and I was like, I better not wear that. I was like, I think they play Alabama today. So
yeah, it's the day Tennessee fans look forward to and or dread. And I think for me personally, Coach, I don't know about you. I don't know whether to look forward to it or dread it. I'm kind of in the middle.
Kelly, what did you follow that statement up with? You might wear it.
Oh, I might wear it next week.
Next week, yeah, which means I won't be here.
Me neither.
But yeah, all my superstitions, against, Arkansas, they didn't pan out.
Yeah.
For a while
That's
last week against Florida, they didn't pan out, and for the most part. So it's like change superstitions. So we're wearing orange today.
Yeah, and this is a new shirt for me, so it's not. It hasn't got cursed karma on it yet. So, of course, they lose today, then and I remember this story very well. In 85, my parents bought a brand new car, and it was when Hondas came out, and they only had 3 colors, and my mom wanted a certain color. There was one in Knoxville, so they called Tommy, Alexandra, and Joyce, and was like, hey, can we ride to the ball game with you to pick up this car? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. Well, UT beat Alabama that day. And so, the next year, they got beat. Next year, a couple of years, went on about 3 or 4 years, and mom told Tommy one day, she says, she said, there's enough of you UT people. She says, I could use a new car, and we can go to Knoxville and get one. So if anybody wants to buy me a new car today, I'll gladly ride to Knoxville with you, and hopefully that same juju will happen. And that was actually a landmark win in the series. That Alabama was number 2 in that game in 85. That was a big upset win for Tennessee. So we can thank your mom and dad for that.
Yes.
Your dad, a notorious Vandy fan, by the way, so I'm sure he was tickled to death. We've got an exciting show today. We've got the Junior Tigers, the DeKalb Junior Pro Junior Tigers are going to be here in just a few minutes. And, man, what a season they had. They wrapped it up last week. 14-0 shutout win in the championship game, the Junior Pro Super Bowl, 4th consecutive shutout. They finished the year 9-0, and I believe this was the 3rd year in a row they played Fentress County in a championship game, this particular squad, and it was another barn burner, y'all, and we're going to talk to some of the players today. We've had a great season, fall season with DeKalb County Sports, and here Junior Pro just comes in here, and now we got another championship to talk about. I'm excited, y'all.
Did they bring a trophy?
I don't know. I think some of them are here eating some breakfast. I hope they did. I hope they brought it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
They may be putting more stuff on it. You never know. We'll just have to see. But Coach, it has been an exciting football season, and it's been kind of a light week. I know you had a game at Cannon County last night, but DeKalb County, and in fact, all of their region except Upperman was off last night.
It's really true, and you get to this part of the season, and what's crazy is when you have to schedule and your bye turns out crazy. Cannon County plays week 10, and that's their 10 games, and they have week 11 off.
Yeah. That's
their bye, which is kind of ridiculous. It's probably going to help them this year, having that week off and 2 weeks to prepare. They're going to play Westmoreland.
Yeah.
Okay, so they know that ahead of time. So in that regard, it's real good. But as far as, you, Tom Duggan, gazing into your crystal ball and saying we're going to begin this show this year, and we're having champion after champion after championship game, week in, week out with all of these teams around DeKalb County, and just perfect insight on your part, and the teams are following suit and behaving like they're supposed to.
You just got to have that, mentality where you can see the future. And but we've been certainly fortunate and blessed that we've had a lot of fun with the show these first few weeks, and a lot of great programs. These kids, they're going to be excited to be on the show. I'm excited to have them on the show, and they'll be coming up in our next segment. Around 9:30 or so, Steven Jennings, who's been pitching in the Texas Rangers organization, a DeKalb County product, he's going to be joining us and finish the year at Round Rock in AAA, just on the doorstep.
of the Rangers, who, by the way, are the defending World Series champions. And I'm excited to talk to Steven. We're going to get an insight, I think, on the process. How do you get – it's so hard. I mean, you got so many levels to get to the show. Steven's gotten real close, and Kelly, and he's had a lot of personal changes in his life this year, too. Got married, got a baby, so a lot to talk about with Steven today.
Yeah, his aunt she cleans my teeth, and so when I get my teeth cleaned, I get to hear all about all the things, and he did have a good year, and of course, he represents our county very well, and
he does.
I'm excited to talk to him.
And Coach, we got a chance to watch him play football. He was a darn good football player, too, but drafted second round right out of high school. I mean, that's a big deal when you're a small community like DeKalb County, and he's worked really hard. We've got some baseball tradition in DeKalb County, and Steven just carrying that banner on.
We do, and I know when he was first signed with Pittsburgh, I was able to talk with Randy, his father, a couple of times, and about how the major leagues or those organizations handle those pitchers, and it's like ridiculously difficult for a starter to get a win because you have to go your 5 innings, but they're on a pitch count, so unless they're extremely efficient, we may get into more with that Steve when he gets here. But very proud. I mean, you talk about the history and the tradition of baseball. He's not the first to go there, but he's the latest, and we're looking forward to talking to him.
Absolutely. He'll be coming up again. That'll be about 9:30. A little after that, we'll have him on for a segment to talk a little baseball. 7-1. He went this year splitting time at AA Frisco and AAA Round Rock, and got his first taste of AAA baseball this year, and just very excited to talk to him. Let's go back and talk a little football. We kind of touched on DeKalb County having the week off. Chris, I'll pose this to you. I know, having been a coach, and we've been around football several years. DeKalb County, their last 3 games, 2 losses, kind of a tough night with Cumberland County, even though they won. We spoke about this last week. Was this a good time for the bye week? And I think for the most part, Coach Trapp's given his team kind of the week off, maybe to step back from the game and kind of rest up, if there's bumps and bruises, get healed up, but maybe just to regain that focus. I feel myself, this has been a good opportunity, a good time for DeKalb County to have this bye and kind of refocus with 2 huge games on the horizon.
I'm not going to question anything that Steve Trapp does as a coach because he has set the bar, and if you look at the program, it's not just their success with consecutive streak going to the playoffs or winning the region for the first time ever and getting that first playoff game at home and all of those things.
Yeah.
To look at the field and the improvements that he's made there with the scoreboard and the Jumbotron and the stadium and the lights. And, he's done it all. So he has to have very good reasons for giving his team the entire week off. It's almost like it's been a tale of 2 seasons so far with a third to come.
Yeah.
Where they start off with a schedule that's somewhat easier than their region, and they dominated that, and they get through that unscathed at 5-0, and then you start diving into a very tough 4-4A region, and they've had a couple of speed bumps along the way, and then the near disaster at Cumberland County, and it may be just, hey, everybody. Mm-hmm. Let's all take a step back. Let's take a deep breath. Let's come back in, rejuvenated, refocused, knowing what's at stake, knowing what we have to do. Future is still somewhat in their hands. They need a little bit of help, but, they need to take care of their own business to give themselves a shot, and I think that's what Steve's going to preach.
Kelly, you've been there as both a coach and a player. Time off. Basketball knows a little bit different than football. It's not once a week. You're typically playing a couple times a week. But from your point of view as both a player and a coach, do you need that time off? Is it more of a distraction, or is it sometimes a help to kind of help you refocus?
I think I'm assuming that Coach has a really good read on his team. I know he's got a senior quarterback, so they know what's going on. Personally, I always shot better at the first of the season. Softball's the same way. I hit better when I haven't seen some pitches. Just you're more focused. Mm-hmm. When you've played a bunch over and over and over and over, it becomes repetitive, and you just rely on athleticism. Where when you're at the first of the season, you're kind of using your brain, you're kind of using your skills and stuff, but you are really having to think and be intentional in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think this is probably going to be a good thing for them. These kids, I mean, I know we talk about kids and stuff, but the kids are genuinely tired. It's been my basketball kids have had the whole week off. I mean, because they're doing our gym floor, but they've had the whole week off, and we're going to come back in Tuesday, and it's just going to be what it is. I mean, you can prepare all you want to, but it's how your kids react, and I think they'll be fine.
Football is such a physical sport, too. And I know, safety has become such an issue. And, Coach, I think it's drawn a lot more spotlight on the physicality of the game. I don't always think fans maybe get it, how tough it is, unless you're close to a player or something. Sometimes I think you just need that time to rest, to heal up, because it is such a physical sport.
Well, and it's a very long season. I'm sure that there's maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks that the high school football team is going to have off, not just DeKalb, but throughout the state, throughout the country. 4 weeks off from their last game of a particular season until their first game of the next season, because you have all of the off-season workouts and training, and you have the camps, and you have the passing leagues, and you have the light, and it goes on and on and on, and it's never ending.
Yeah.
Until NCAA has stepped in and say, hey, we're going to shut you down on certain periods where you can't do anything. But these guys have been grueling since like the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to their classes. They're doing other things. They're practicing with the pads on, with the pads off. They're still out there. It's a mental drain.
Yeah.
You talk about basketball not being able to shoot as well, and the first thing I thought of is, well, okay, your legs. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of the year, you've got your legs. They're fresh. Your shot's, probably long. And then you get that groove down, and then as the season wears on, your legs start to go, and now your shots are coming up short. And probably the same thing with football. And if I'm mentally tired, then I'm not absorbing the game plan and the preparation the coaches have laid out for me. And then physically, I'm just kind of going through the motions, and it's very difficult. So, yes, it could be a good thing. The week I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
But, yes, we're going to give you a chance, and maybe it's more of a mental preparation than it is a physical preparation.
Mental fatigue sometimes is more overwhelming than physical fatigue. And I think anybody, that's dealt with that knows that sometimes when you're just mentally spent, it don't matter how good or bad your body feels. You're checked out a lot of times. And I think when you're a teenager, you're living a teenager life on top of that. And just with so much going on like you're talking about. And people sometimes say, well, there's only one game a week. How rough can it be? But they're practicing every single day. And like you said, going back to July. So it really does, over the course of the season, take a lot of toll off these kids. Now, let's look at the playoffs as far as the outlook before we go to break. Upperman sitting at the top of the region right now, 4-0. They win one more, and they're not only in the playoffs, they're going to clinch the region. If they win at Stone next Friday night, Upperman's going to be the number 1 seed. They're heavily favored to win that game. Of course, you got to go play it. And Stone's played Upperman, pretty tough a few times, but you got to win the game. But if they win that, when they win the region, now here's where it becomes interesting. White County and Stone are both 3-2. Or 3-1, I'm sorry, in region. Macon is 3-2. DeKalb is 2-2. Now, if we're looking from the DeKalb County perspective, DeKalb County has to beat White County. If they don't beat White County, they're out of the playoff picture. That's it, because they've already lost to Stone. They've already lost to White. Therefore, they would lose the tiebreaker. So DeKalb County has to win the game against White County regardless. That puts the onus then on week 11, where they have Upperman. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky. Again, they don't have the tiebreaker over Stone or Macon County. Stone has got Upperman and Macon left. Macon County has got Stone Memorial. That's their only game remaining on the schedule. And again, under any circumstances they were to tie, then Stone or Macon gets the tiebreaker. Now, here's the interesting thing. If DeKalb County beats White County, they still need to either beat Upperman or for White County to lose to Livingston to get into the playoffs, unless somehow we end up everybody's 3-3 or 4-2, and then it gets to be a mess. But, Chris, I know it gets kind of complicated there. It's a must-win Friday, and it's almost a must-win the following week, because you expect White County is going to be a pretty big favorite over Livingston Academy.
You would think so. And I was kind of looking at this myself, and I was like, remaining schedule and what have you got? And Upperman, like you said, they have Stone and DeKalb County. Both of those games are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to travel, and I know it's Upperman, and they're going to take their game and they're going to play regardless, but you're still looking at 2 playoff contenders that are going to give you everything that they have left.
Oh, yeah.
And DeKalb in that Week 11, if they must beat, then there's no telling what you're going to see from Coach Trapp and the Tigers, because we saw the same situation last night, that anything goes.
Sure.
Expect the unexpected, and gadgets and trickeration and all these other good things could make some very interesting football. You're already looking at White County. You give them the win over Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say how you can't. So you know that they're going to be sitting there with 4 wins in their pocket, and that's what you're looking at. How can my team get to 4 wins and secure that playoff spot without having to worry about playoff scenarios or tiebreakers?
Stone, again, with Upperman and Macon left, that's going to be tough for them. Macon, as we mentioned, with the Stone Memorial game. So there's some key games in there. But all in all, and Chris, y'all going to have this on DTC. I know it's going to be an exciting game, but we're going to encourage people to come out because we need a crowd. We're going to need a thunderous crowd out there to help make a difference in this game coming up Friday.
Yeah, and DTC has always encouraged the fans. Yes, get out and support your local high school football team. Get there, show up in groves and numbers. And if you can't, and we understand, and I hope the coaches and the schools understand that there are some that have DTC that simply cannot physically get to the game,
Absolutely.
whether they're elderly or they're at some particular time they're under the weather, they're damaged or whatever, they just can't get there. We want you to tune into DTC as well,
Yep.
and DC Blitz is the exact same way when we're able to broadcast some ball games, but we're looking forward to it. It's one of those in Week 10 that's going to be a very good game. And we're excited about covering it. And first time that we've seen Upperman White County in a while. So we're just hoping to see a good outcome for DeKalb County.
Absolutely. Hopefully the Tigers come back, rested up, focused, ready to go. White County, DeKalb County coming up Friday night at 7. All right, speaking of coming up, we got junior pro football. The junior Tigers are in the house. We will talk to Coach Cole Parsley, Coach Nathan Shepard, members of the team coming up. DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance, DeKalb Title, First Bank, Holmes Group Incorporated, Love Cantrell, Funeral Home, Ranger Brake, Smithfield First Baptist Church, Southern Landscape Supply, and Town and Lake Realty and Auction, Junior Pro, and Steven Jennings all coming up. Stay with us here on DC Blitz.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decalbinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
Hey, Sam!
Who said that? Cheryl? What are you doing up there?
My bank always leaves me up in the air. I'm still waiting for an answer. Oh, darn birds.
Well, switch to First Bank. They have fast local decision makers and the latest banking products in digital.
Whew, what a relief. I'll call First Bank. When I was up there, I saw a branch near me.
First Bank never leaves you hanging. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
At Home Services, we work with both residential and commercial properties to provide many services, specializing in dump truck delivery of rock, dirt, and other materials, driveways and parking lots, excavation, finish grading of yards, erosion control, snow removal, and more. Plus, septic tank installation, repair, septic tank pumping, and porta potty rentals. Learn more by visiting our website at homeservicestn.com or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy tractors are born from the legendary Bad Boy mowers from 20 to 35 horsepower. Subcompact to midsize, Bad Boy combines power, performance, comfort, and as always, builds strength to deliver the workhorse dependability you need to get the job done and done right. Homeowner, landscaper, or rancher, there's a Bad Boy tractor for you to work with an attitude. Find your Big Boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
You know what? That's why I had Kelly over here to unmute the microphones. You know, I'm not this technical guy. I'm the big mouth. I don't do all the button pushing. But let's go through all that again. We're happy to have DeKalb Junior Pro with us this morning. The Junior Tigers, the Super Bowl winning Junior Tigers. We've got Coach Cole Parsley, Coach Nathan Shepard, and a couple of our players, and we'll have some more coming in here in just a little bit. We've got Uriah Pettit and Gunnar Shepard as our two players to start this segment. Coaches, we'll start off with you, and Cole, first of all, you know, we talked to you a few weeks ago out at the season finale, and that started a string of 4 consecutive shutouts for this junior pro team leading up to the championship game. Defensively, you were telling me before we went on the air, you only gave up maybe 2 or 3 actual offensive scores this year. What made this defense special for this team?
So Nathan, he does the defense, I do the offense, but I would say what made it special is Nathan does a great job drilling open field tackling. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, if you can get these young athletes out in space, it's incredibly hard to tackle them.
Yeah.
So if you have a defense and if you have players in the right spot who can make those tackles, then you're going to be successful. And he did a great job, and these players did a great job of executing it.
Nathan, I want to come to you on that, teaching that open field tackling, because that's essential in any level of football. How difficult is that, with these young minds, and they're kind of just, I know they've had a little bit of experience on the Pee Wee level, but as you develop them, how difficult is it to teach them that exactly?
Well, breaking it down on how to make an open field tackle is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Especially they don't understand how to maneuver their feet, their body, put it in the right leverage to make that tackle. But if you make it super simple for all these kids so they can understand it piece by piece and put it all together at the end and then drill that all together, it makes wonders. It makes it 100% better than most other teams will ever see out in the field.
What's the first fundamental thing they need to know when you're teaching that?
Footwork.
Yeah.
A lot of footwork. So they got to learn how to chop their feet, break down. If their feet are real skinny or too close together, they reach, they lunge, they fall, they miss tackles, they can't wrap well. So they got to learn how to have a wide base and be strong on their feet and have a good lower body. But if they have a wide base when they go to do their breakdowns and make good tackles, ain't nobody getting by them.
Yeah.
That helps their leverage also, how to form the tackle and get in there and just put their head on the ball.
Nathan, I'm going to stay with you, and this DeKalb County, Fentress County thing has kind of become a rivalry, it seems like, between was this the third year in a row you all had played them in the playoffs? Is that right?
We played them 2 years ago in the Super Bowl.
2 years ago in the Super Bowl.
2 years ago in the Super Bowl, and then we played them this year in the Super Bowl. But every year we do play them, it is always a clutch game. It's ridiculous. Because we go in there thinking that we might just go in there and wipe them off the face of the earth, but it never happens that way. They always got something. They've got something planned for us every time that we go play them.
Right.
Every single day that we go play them, it is rough, and these kids out here, it's always the last 2 or 3 minutes. Then it starts to show up, and we start to go out there and dominating. But man, it's always a good game with them.
What was it that maybe got things going for you? I know you had some big plays there toward the end of the first half that kind of helped you get the lead going into halftime. What kind of got things going? I'll let either one of you take that question for your team in the first half in the Super Bowl.
So they're excellent. Like, they have excellent coaches. Mm-hmm. They change everything they do every time we play them. I guess they watch a ton of film.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, they had Caden, who was on the last show. They were double teaming him. There's normally a one high safety that we go against our offense in junior pro, and they had rolled their safety all the way to the right side of the field, and they had a corner on Caden. So it took us a while to realize what they were doing. They were shutting down our passing game. So eventually we rotated Caden to the left and brought Raylin to the right, and then that they had the double team over there, and then we were able to hit a flat route to Colton 2 or 3 times, like the videos and the clips I sent you. Yeah, and that's what did it.
By the way, go check those out on DC Blitz on our Facebook page. Cole's nice enough to send us some clips from the championship game. Be sure to go check that out. In fact, Colton, I think, had a 70-yard touchdown call back. Was that right? Mm-hmm. So a big play. What happened on that play?
It was wide receiver wasn't set. He's supposed to be on the line. I guess he's maybe a couple inches off.
Yeah.
And the ref didn't scoot him up. But I don't know if the receiver checked in at that time. He's supposed to check with the ref. But it looked good to me.
Yeah.
It looked good to me. So I think it was a receiver wasn't set on the line of scrimmage.
You played Fentress County up there, matter of fact, early in the year, a 6-0, very close game in that one. What was the difference you felt like in this game and maybe the one earlier in the year? Biggest difference?
I feel like we just needed to learn how to go out there and give it our all beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Because normally we don't get woke up. These morning games are rough for these kids. They go out there, they're tired, they're trying to get woke up and stuff. But I think the difference between the Super Bowl game and our regular season game was who wanted it more, really.
Yeah.
And if we just went out there and give it all we had, all these kids out here, they wanted it more than the other team.
Was every game this year an early morning game? I mean, I know we in years past they've kind of fluctuated, but was all of them early this year?
No, we only had 2 or 3 morning games.
Okay.
All 3 or 2 or 3 of those were rough start.
Yeah.
It's always a rough start trying to get them woke up and going.
Let's talk to a couple of our players, Uriah Pettit and Gunnar Shepard. Uriah, we'll start with you. And how tough is it to play first thing in the morning? Are you still kind of sleepy when you get out there in the field, or a little bit?
A
little bit. Okay. So it just you kind of got to get woke up and going. How long does it take you maybe to get going in an early morning game to where you're really feeling it?
Probably just first quarter and warm-ups.
Okay, and then you're ready to go?
Yeah.
How did it feel to win the Super Bowl?
Good.
Good. Were you happy?
Mm-hmm.
Proud?
Mm-hmm.
What was the first thing you did after the game was over?
Went home.
There wasn't a big celebration?
Yeah.
Did y'all throw any Gatorade on the coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was water, but yeah.
Gunner's giving me the thumbs up. So, Gunner, did y'all get the coaches wet a little bit with some Gatorade or water?
Yeah.
All right. Was that the plan all along? You were going to get them?
Yeah, before the game ended and the B team was in, we were planning it. We had the water bucket and we were handing it over his head.
Gunner, at what point did you feel like, hey, we've got this game won?
Probably at halftime.
Halftime? Did you just feel like at that point you had, I guess, all the momentum was kind of going in your direction?
Yeah, we were playing good after halftime. We were driving down the field and scoring. I was pretty confident.
What's one big play that you made that really stands out from the game?
Probably one of the first plays after halftime when I got to the secondary, trucked the safety, and then he grabbed my foot. But
Yeah. Now, when you say truck to safety, what'd you do? What happened there?
oh, he died.
He's no longer with us.
R.I.P.
Uriah, what about you? What's the big play that you made that really stands out from the championship game? Is there one in particular that comes to mind?
Probably the one when I killed the linebacker.
Okay. All right. Y'all did a lot of killing last week, it sounds like.
So who wanted it more?
What about during the course of the season, Uriah? Is there a memory, a play, something that you're always going to remember? You think something that happened during the course of this season?
Probably Super Bowl.
Just the Super Bowl? Just winning that championship? All right. Gunner, what about you? Is there something you're always going to remember about this season? A play or something that happened?
Probably beating every team in the playoff by 20.
All right. So, man, and it was impressive
At
playoff.
least.
Yeah, because you beat Upperman 27-0 and then 21-0 in the semis and 14-0 in a tough championship game. So what a season for you guys. Congratulations to you. And we're going to rotate and let you guys go out. We'll bring a couple of your teammates in to come in and talk to us. Go ahead, guys. And coaches, I'm going to kind of pose that question to you as well. What are some things that's going to stand out? Cole, I'll start with you, and then Nathan, I'll come to you as well. What are some things you're going to remember about this season?
Man, there's so many things I could talk about here. I think number one is just how smart these kids are first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can do a lot of things that a lot of other teams can't do offensively just because of how smart they are, how much they retain. Looking at Raylin over here, this kid, we shifted him in and out. He played fullback, receiver, left back, right receiver, left receiver. It didn't matter. If somebody got injured for a play, I brought Raylin in because he knew the entire offense. I would say that and just our ability. Gunner was just up here. He played quarterback. Kid's got an arm.
Yeah.
Not only is it, can he throw really far, but he can throw very accurate.
Yeah.
And being able to do that just really set us over the top, and it made every game fun because I want to run the ball and we want to run the ball effectively.
Sure.
But when we can throw it, that's when I really get excited.
Yeah, yeah. Nathan, what about you? What's some things that's going to stand out when you look back on this team?
I think it's going to be hard to duplicate the defensive side of the ball because I had very disciplined kids. These two right here are my corners.
Mm-hmm.
And normally if they do a reverse or a sweep to the other side, them corners, everybody on that side of the field bites to the other side, and it's wide open for that reverse. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
We shut everything down. I don't care what they was trying to do. These guys are here would hold it down. Picks. They got so many picks this year, so many tackles. They contain the edge very well. Just like the rest of my guys over here, my defensive guys, man, they was just so disciplined. And if the offense had tried to trick us in any way, it wasn't going in their work. It wasn't going in their favor. We tore it up.
Yeah.
Shook them down for everything they had, so they didn't want it.
We're talking DeKalb County Junior Pro. The Junior Tigers finished the season 9-0 and Super Bowl champions in the Middle Tennessee Youth Football Conference. We've got Caden Hunt and Raylin Patterson as our next two guests. And Caden, we talked to you a few weeks ago. He's not at a loss for words, so we're going to get right to it. Caden, how do you feel about this Super Bowl championship?
Happy.
Happy? What's a big play that you made in this game that stands out to you?
When I was getting double teamed, and I still got like 2 or 3 first downs. They couldn't guard me.
They couldn't guard you. Did you have the speed over them, or what was it?
everything.
A little bit of everything. What do you like best about your teammates? What are some things that you really think makes this a great team?
My quarterback, my lineman, my whatever he is, and
whatever he is. Now, with a good football team, it kind of always starts in the trenches. You mentioned your lineman. Did you have a really good line this year?
Yeah.
Did they dominate this year?
Yeah.
Dominated? Okay. So this group moving forward, some of y'all, are you going to be moving up next year to the senior level?
I might go to Saints.
Might go to the Saints? What are you looking forward to most with going to the Saints and playing for them?
I really don't know. I probably won't get no playing time.
But you're going to work hard to try to get some, right? All right. Let's go over to Raylin. And Raylin, what's something about this game that you remember, a play that you made or something that's really special to you?
I like going out deep for the passes.
You do?
Yeah.
You play receiver? Yeah. All right. What about your quarterback? Your coaches were saying he's got a really strong arm. What stands out about your quarterback?
He can really throw dimes.
He can throw dimes? So is he like Patrick Mahomes good?
He's like better than Patrick Mahomes.
Better than Patrick Mahomes. Wow, that's saying a lot. So what are some special memories for you? What are some things you're going to remember about this season with your teammates and this team?
My teammates are good to me. They help block and win in the Super Bowl.
All right. Raylin, what's some good things about your coaches that you really like?
They're really good coaches, and they help me learn a lot.
Okay. Caden, what about you? What are some things you really like about your coaches?
They're rough on you, and which is good. Which actually good. Yeah. They can teach you. Like my first year, I wasn't good, but them two taught me everything that I know.
What's maybe one thing that was kind of difficult for you to learn, but now you feel like you've got it and you do well at it?
Tackles.
Tackles?
100%.
Yeah. So is it kind of like they talked about? Is it learning the footwork and stuff? Yeah, it's kind of tough.
We done drills that really helped me make tackles and stuff.
All right. Well, now when we had Caden on last time, we got him to do a Tennessee prediction for us.
It's 71-0 again.
Buddy, I hope you're right. I'm not going to take that to Vegas, but you're going 71-0 today.
Since it's Alabama, it'd be a close game, so probably like 28-20.
28-20. I'll take it. I'll take 28-27. All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to swap you out, and we'll bring your last two teammates on here. I do want to talk about the quarterback because at this level, what's the most important thing in development of a quarterback at this age?
So I think a lot of youth coaches make the mistake of trying to get their quarterback to make multiple reads. They try and have concepts where there's 3 different people you can go to. We really simplify it, and Gunner has sometimes 2 reads, but for the most part he has 1 read, and I tell him as soon as you see it, if it's there, chuck it.
Yeah.
If it's not there, he knows he's supposed to run it. And so we keep it really simple that way, but all of our passes, they look exactly like our run game. So that helps as well, getting that corner to bite on the run.
In what you see in Gunner as your quarterback, what are some things that you feel like, A, he needs to improve on, and B, some things that he does exceptionally well, maybe for his age?
Things he needs to improve on, and I think he would agree with this. I think Nathan would agree with this. On some of our rollout concepts, just rolling out a little bit faster, you know, making that read and doing it at full speed. But he saw a lot of growth, especially the Super Bowl game. I think he got it right on that one.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. We got, I believe, make sure I'm right here, Titus Stone and Colton Hutchings. Is that our last 2 players here? Colton, you had a big game in the Super Bowl, and you kind of got the momentum going for this team. What that feel like for you, especially there late in that first half?
I don't know.
Were you excited to kind of have some big plays there?
Yeah.
How did you feel when they called your touchdown back, though?
I was just mad.
You were mad?
It didn't feel good.
Did you go back to the huddle but were refocused and wanted to make a big play happen after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did it feel like to win the Super Bowl? What was that feeling like when the game was over?
It was awesome.
Now, did you do anything special after the game? Did you get to go celebrate? No? Just went home? Now, tell me, are the coaches letting y'all take this trophy and spend some time with it, or are they just keeping it?
They're keeping it.
They're not sharing it with you?
Stingy.
Tell me some things, Colton, that you feel like your coaches are teaching you that they want you to work on to improve your overall game? What are some things that you're still working on?
Defense.
Defense? What position you play on defense?
Outside linebacker.
What do you like about that position?
I don't know.
Do you like hitting people? Yeah, okay, all right. Titus, what position you play, Titus?
Defensive end.
Defensive end. What's the best part about playing defensive end?
I only have to beat one guy that I can hit somebody.
Do you hit a lot of quarterbacks?
Yes.
You like that?
Yes.
What's it like when you hit the quarterback? What's it feeling like?
Feels good.
Feels really good?
Yeah.
Do you get really excited? Do you get pumped up and like celebrate after it's over?
Yes.
Do the coaches get on to you for that?
No.
No. What's some things that the coaches are teaching you that maybe are tough, that you feel like have been kind of tough to learn? Anything?
Probably the breaking down, like trying to break down and make tackles. And probably one of the toughest things we had to learn. I was kicker, but whenever I fractured my wrist, they decided to put gunner in.
Oh, my.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's probably one of the toughest because I couldn't really get the kick down that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Did you fracture your wrist playing football? Mm-hmm. What happened?
So, during practice, we had this drill where this guy had to pick a side, and there was a blocker for him, and there was like 2 or 3 linebackers, and you had to block one. I had to block somebody, and I tried to block gunner. Then my wrist just went all the way backwards.
Oh, I bet that hurt.
And then, but he still made it through. That's all I cared about.
Titus, what do you love most about the game of football?
Hitting.
Hitting? All right, Colton, what about you? Same thing?
Yeah.
All right. Either one of you have a favorite football player? Who's your favorite?
I like Patrick Mahomes.
You like
Tom Brady.
Okay. All right. Titus?
Derrick Henry. Definitely Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
And wait, what's his name for the 49ers?
McCaffrey?
No. Yeah, George Kittle.
George Kittle. That's a good one. He's a good one. Well, guys, congratulations to you. You've had a fantastic season. Coaches, do you follow this group up? How does this work in Junior Pro? Have you coached them since Pee Wee and move up, or is that kind of how it works?
Yep.
So will the majority of this group go up to the next level next year?
I hope so.
So will that be the plan? Do y'all follow them up to the next level?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are some things that you guys, I know Junior Pro has had a lot of success over the years in DeKalb County, but some things league-wise that y'all are working on, and I know you're always growing and doing some different things. Are there some things that you're really excited about, I guess, in the league itself, be it the players or be it some things that, just in general that you're really excited about?
So me and Nathan are going to host a coaching clinic next year for youth coaches, because every year, like we've been doing this since Pee Wee and moving up, but every year, other than us, the other divisions, they have new coaches.
Right.
And we would both admit that our first time coaching for youth was really difficult. It's not like coaching these older kids. It is a lot different. And so we're going to do a coaching clinic for the new guys and just show them everything we've learned, all the secrets there is, and things that we think help make us successful.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, guys, you've done a fantastic job, and there's always excitement with Junior Pro football. We thank you for keeping us in the loop and working with us, and like I said, the videos, being able to share that. Hopefully next year we'll get to do some games. We really wanted to do the championship game, but things didn't work out as far as the logistical part. But thank y'all so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Coach Cole Parsley, Coach Nathan Shepard, and members of the DeKalb County Jr. Tigers joining us here on DC Blitz. Now, when we come back, we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk a little baseball. We've got Steven Jennings in the house. We will talk to him next. This is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
There's nothing like homegrown. Around here, nothing grows better than local businesses and families. It's because starting on common ground makes things just shoot up. Just look at those neighborhoods and business districts. Around here, it's always growing season.
At First Bank, we share your hometown and your love for our community. That means you get down-to-earth local lenders who get down to business faster. First Bank. Bank local, get more. Member FDIC.
Ignite HVAC Electrical and Plumbing offers both residential and commercial sales, installation, and service. We want to set ourselves apart from the rest of the heating and air industry by providing a seamless experience from your project start to finish. We also offer duct cleaning, which will help improve the performance of your unit. No job is too large or too small. For any heating and air, electrical, or plumbing job, give us a call at 615-597-0100.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Trust Love Cantrell Funeral Home to guide you through with respect and professionalism. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Blitz, and all DeKalb Sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy Mowers' legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value is now available with Bad Boy tractors. From mid-size to subcompact models powered by 22 to 35 horsepower water-cooled diesel engines, your tractor work just got real easy. On the farm, the ranch, or even around the house, Bad Boy tractors deliver power and durability all day, every day. Bad Boy tractors work with an attitude. Find your big boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. I want to thank DeKalb County Jr Pro for stopping by this morning. Those kids are so much fun, and I know they got a bright future ahead of them as they move on up to the senior level and on into middle school and high school. Right now, though, we're ready to talk some baseball. Speaking of moving up levels, we got Steven Jennings here in the house with us, former DeKalb County High School football and baseball star, now pitching in the Texas Rangers organization. Finished the season at
that hurts.
At Round Rock. What?
That really hurts.
What hurts?
Yeah, I could handle, Pittsburgh, that was fine.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
The Yankees kind of hurt.
I was so excited about
for
that.
For a long time, I wasn't worried about the Yankees, and but same state,
yeah,
same division, all that stuff. That hurts.
Coach is an Astros fan, by the way. If we've not divulged that, and then thankfully they're sitting at home right now. But anyway, Steven, it's so good to have you with us, and there's so many questions out there, and talk about the first thing, kind of the process. You get drafted second round, you go to rookie ball. Kind of walk us through what the stages have been like up to this point for you.
Yeah, so got drafted in the second round out of high school in 2017. Feels hard to believe that it's been that long ago. But got drafted, I think, maybe 2 weeks later. Was down in Bradenton, Florida, which I'd never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And then was there for the rest of 2017 from June or July until about October. Next year, went to spring training. Was in extended spring training, so I was in Bradenton again from February until about June.
Yeah.
Then I went to Bristol, Tennessee, played in the Appy League, which isn't even a league anymore, short season. And then next year, went to Greensboro in 2019 for low A. Next year after that, didn't play in 20 because of COVID and all
right.
that. And then 21 went back to Greensboro, which was high that year, so different league and level, but same city.
Mm-hmm.
And then ended up going to Altoona later that year, I think. That off season, going into 22, got picked up by the Yankees in the minor league Rule 5, which I could go on a rant about what the Rule 5 is, but for time's sake, I'll leave that out. So yeah, went to the Yankees. Was there for 2 years. Went to Somerset, AA both years, and then signed as a free agent last offseason with the Rangers. Went to AA for maybe 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then finished the year up in AAA in Round Rock. So, yeah, a lot of levels, a lot of stops along the way. Like I said, some places I was in, not even a league anymore. So,
yeah.
I mean, kind of shows how long I've been in it, but, it's been fun.
How tough is all the moving around? I mean, that's obviously part of baseball, but, you're going from Florida to Pennsylvania to Carolinas. I mean, how long does it take you to kind of adjust?
Well, that's what we were just talking about out there, actually. Driving is just part of it. You know, you kind of have to, at the drop of a hat, be able to pack up everything that you own, everything that you got, and put it in the truck and drive. Maybe sometimes it's an hour, maybe sometimes it's 12 hours. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last 8 years, I think I've gotten used to it. This year was a little bit harder because, my wife and son were with me. So we were having to pack up, everything that a baby needs, everything that my wife needed, I needed. So, we had the truck. I don't think we could have fit anything else in it. So this year it was a little bit harder, but, you get used to it as you go.
I'm going to go back. I'm not going to hijack the interview because I know y'all got questions too. But one thing I'm curious about, when you first got drafted, short turnaround and you're headed here, what was the first maybe biggest thing you had to adjust to? You go from high school to you're in a major league organization, albeit rookie ball. What was the biggest first adjustment you had to really make?
I think maybe having to do my own laundry for the first time. As crazy as that sounds, but God bless my mama, but she had always done my laundry for me. So, and I guess I just always thought the laundry did itself, But I finally ran out of clothes, and I'm like, what do I have to do now? And then I figured out, at Pirate City, like the dorms we were living in, you went down there, you had to pay 50 cents to wash them and 50 cents to dry them.
Mm-hmm.
But I loaded up everything I had, all my clothes, went down there and wash my clothes for the first time, really.
You wash everything together, just throw them all in?
Everything together. I still do that, though.
I do that.
From 18 to 25, I still do that.
I got all kinds of colored socks.
Hey, when we built a new house, I want the biggest washing machine you got. And I just throw it all in there. My mom cringes, but that's part of life. But that's a lot like
I can always go buy some new white shirts. They're like $5 at Walmart.
That's a lot like college life, though. Because when I went into the dorms, you had to learn to do your own laundry. I thought my mom was crazy for ironing shirts, and now I iron shirts all the time.
Each step up you take, obviously the competition, I assume, gets better, gets tougher. The adjustments you make there, and I'll use this year for an example. AA is always super competitive anyway, and then you go to AAA. What was maybe some of the biggest differences?
Really just whenever I got to AA, that was whenever I figured out you got to be able to get people out inside the strike zone. Because, you could, in the lower levels, you could go up there and throw 3 sliders in the other batter's box, and they might swing at all 3 of them.
Sure.
But whenever I got to AA, that was whenever I figured out you got to be competitive inside the strike zone to get people out. Because if not, they'll just walk to first base and they'll take their base. But, really whenever I got to AAA this year, that was a big adjustment just because – most of those guys are up and down from the big leagues the whole year. So they might have been facing, Jacob deGrom a week before, and then now they're down there facing you.
Yeah.
And really the biggest thing was if you face them 2 times in a row, you got to find 2 different ways to get them out. You can't just, their scouting report might say they struggle with fastballs at the top of the zone. Your first time you go out there, you can get them out with a fastball at the top of the zone. The next time you face them, they're going to have that in the back of their mind.
Sure.
And saying, this is what he does well, this is what I struggle with, so I'm going to try to take that away and just eliminate it.
Mm-hmm.
So either he won't offer or he'll just sit on fastball at the top of the zone to try to get on top of it. So you really just have to find the ways to get guys out a ton of different ways. So that's whenever, digging his scouting reports, just watching the game in front of you.
Constant adjustments.
I'm a reliever, so I don't come in until maybe 5th, 6th, 7th inning.
Sure.
So really just trying to take away from what the starter's done for the first – 2 times through the lineup and seeing how he got him out or what didn't work against him. So you just have to always be kind of locked in and figure out, like you said, just make constant adjustments, at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch.
What are some advantages and maybe disadvantages being a reliever? As you mentioned, you're seeing what the starter has done all this time, and that's got to be an advantage, but are there some disadvantages too when you're coming in that 7th or 8th inning?
It was funny this year. I think the first – maybe 3 out of the first 4 appearances I had, or maybe 3 out of the first 5, I came in with bases loaded with less than 2 outs. So, that's always a disadvantage just because you kind of come in with your back against the wall.
Sure.
As a starter, you get to go out there with nobody on, nobody out. But, the disadvantages would just be you just kind of get thrown out there to the wolves, for lack of a better
Here
term.
you go.
Yeah. And, if you do – well, then everybody pats you on the back, and if you go out there and give up, a double off the wall and all 3 run scores, then, you didn't do your job, and then you ain't going out for a next inning.
Sure.
So you got to wait 2 or 3 days again. But, I would say that's really the only disadvantage.
Steven Jennings, our guest on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Y'all jump in here.
Was this year a little bit easier having your wife and your son with you, to not being homesick, wanting to see family, or have you always been okay with being away from your family?
I think that first year was the only year that I really got homesick, just because I had never been away from home for more than maybe a week at a time, if even that long. But this year it was great. I just think about it. Obviously my son's a little bit too young to really know what's going on right now, but I just think about it if my dad were lucky enough to have played pro baseball. It would have been so cool for me to just be there as, a little kid. So I just think it was cool from that. And then, obviously being able to see my wife all the time was great. And having her there, it also kind of helped me just leave the game at the field. I would have a hard time, if I had a bad outing or something, I would bring it home and just be in a bad mood for the rest of the night or for the whole next day or whatever it was. But coming back home after the games, whether it was good or bad or not, I still had a wife and a son there who loved me, I loved them. And it was a whole lot easier this year, I think, to just separate, the field from not the field.
I know your parents got to come out quite a bit. Lisa keeps me informed when she's cleaning my teeth about how you and Corey are doing, and you have a lot of support home. Do a lot of your teammates have family that come out and visit like you did, or?
There was there was wives and girlfriends and fiancés and everything, and then about every homestand and even away series, just depending on how close of proximity it is for somebody's family to get there. But basically we never have a game where there's not some family in town, whether it's, parents or just distant, family, friends and family. Or, so there's always a ton of people they get put on the pass list every day.
I had the chance to talk with your dad when you first signed with Pittsburgh and went down to your rookie ball, and he was telling me about the development process of pitching. Will you go into that? Because I'm thinking, hey, I'm a high school pitcher. I'm going down to rookie ball, and I'm going to do what I've done in high school, and things are just going to be great, and I know what to expect, and that doesn't happen, does it?
No, not happening at all. Whenever I first got down there, I had no idea what to expect at all. And coming from somebody who has always just wanted to win everything that I've ever played, it was different because I remember whenever I first got down there, in high school I didn't throw a changeup at all because, I threw harder than most kids around here could hit, and that's not trying to say anything bad about them, but so I never threw a changeup because I didn't want to, put them more on time. So I had no idea how to even throw a changeup. So whenever I get down there, that was basically the first thing that they said that I needed was to be able to throw a changeup. So then I start getting in games, and they really do not care. As crazy as it is, because you're in a professional organization at what's considered supposed to be the highest level of baseball, and at the rookie levels, they don't care if you win, lose, or at all. And whenever I think I threw like 2 outings maybe, and then after that, they were like, all right, you got to throw 25% changeups. We don't care how you do it, but at the end of this outing, 25% of your pitches have to be changeups. And so, I sit there and, I don't really want to throw a changeup, but I hadn't thrown a changeup in, 5 pitches or whatever it is. So I'm like, well, I probably need to throw one. You throw one, it gets hit, or, you hit the guy with it, or, something crazy happens. And, so it got to the point where I wasn't throwing as well as I thought I should, just because I never really failed in baseball either. That was another thing. I didn't really know how to take the good with the bad and see the bad as, well, I'm getting better, or it's a learning curve or anything like that. I just saw it as I'm not playing well, so I'm not doing good, And so I think that was the biggest adjustment just with, kind of the development part of it, as the organization doesn't really care how you're doing numbers-wise. They just want to know that you're kind of checking these boxes to do what you need to do to get better, which is, either throwing a changeup or, trying to eat as much as you can and lift as much as you can to put on weight, trying to throw harder, whatever it is for a lot of different guys. That's the biggest thing. They really don't care if it's good or bad. They just want to know that you're checking the boxes to try and develop.
You've been in 3 different systems now. Has that approach been consistent with each different organization?
Yeah, it's a consistent, but once you get to the higher levels, once I kind of got to AA, even the coaches will tell you, once you get to AA and especially AAA, you're supposed to be a pretty refined product at that point. So most of the AA and AAA development is more digging into scouting reports because you know what these guys do because you're playing against the same guys all the time. So it's really just digging into the scouting reports and knowing more of the mental side of the game as opposed to the physical side. But yeah, in the minor leagues, it's always just about getting better, however you have to do it, whether it's physically or mentally.
You've been a competitive athlete. Baseball, football, it does not matter. You get competitive in the rookie ball, AA, AAA, but you're also with teammates that are also competitive. How much help is given from in the pitching room between you and other pitchers? Are other guys on your team trying to help you, or are they kind of being selfish, looking out for themselves? Hey, I can't make this guy any better, our team better, because I'm worried about me.
Yeah. Once you kind of get to AA and AAA, that's how I always thought it would be too once you got there because, realistically as a reliever, there's 7 or 8 bullpen spots on a big league team. So I always kind of thought that too. I'm like, I don't know how all these guys are going to, there's 20 of us on this team, and all of us are trying to get the same 8 big league spots. But once I got there, I figured out that really wasn't the case, especially in AAA because, this year there was, I don't even know, probably over half the pitchers on our team had big league time. And most of them had good runs in the big leagues. And those guys are great because most of the time they're really helpful in trying to give you stuff that's worked for them at the big league level. So, most of them they're looking to help you. AAA is not always about, as bad as it is to say, it's not always about just winning the game that night. Just because, if in a 6-game series, you might have a completely different team 4 days of those, because if injuries happen in the big leagues or, trades happen or whatever it may be, AAA is always, the locker room's kind of a revolving door with people coming in and out. But, most of the time everybody is willing to like bounce ideas off of each other, and, you just try to be a sponge from the guys that have been there before and done it at the big league level.
Well, former student of mine, I'm proud of him. I know all of DeKalb is proud of him, and even against the Astros, I will wish you luck, and we'll follow you, and just so proud of what you've done and what you've become.
Thank you.
The three organizations you have played in, going from Pittsburgh to the Yankees organization to Texas, are there a lot of differences within the organizations themselves, or in the minor league levels? Is it simply just about development?
Most of the time it's just about development. I would say out of the three that I've been with, I would say the Yankees are probably the most about wanting to win the games every night.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that was really an organization type thing. I think it was just the guys on our team that year, just we wanted to win, and
Sure.
that was just kind of how it was. But like I said earlier, most of the time the minor leagues is all about just trying to get these guys better so they can help the big league team.
Yeah.
However that may be, whether we lose every game in a minor league season or we win every game. We just want to know that this group of guys that we have in this room right now are getting better to help the big league team at some point, whether that's this year or next year or, whatever it is. But like I said, I've only been with three organizations, but I would say that all 30 of them probably have the same approach to it.
You made a transition. You were a starter primarily in high school, and when you started out in rookie ball and all that, and then transition to reliever role. What was that transition like? What were some things that you kind of had to adjust? And I believe I kind of followed you throughout the year. You served maybe as an opener for a couple of games this year as well. And how does that affect, now that you swapped kind of roles there, how does that affect it when you're put in that position?
Yeah. The bullpen is definitely a little bit different because, you never know when your name's going to get called. Especially in the minor leagues. In the big leagues, they kind of have their roles. Like this guy's the 7th, 8th inning guy. You have the closer. You got the long relief guys. In the minor leagues, the approach to it is, well, if Steven Jennings gets called up to the big leagues tomorrow and he's throwing only the 9th inning for us, he's going to go to the big leagues and not be the closer because the big league team already has its closer.
Sure.
So they try to just throw you in as many situations as you can to get used to all of them. And so it's hard because you never know when your name's going to get called. I mean, I went in this year in the first inning. We had a starter go out there, got 2 outs. I had to go in the first inning. I closed some games. I threw like the 4th, 5th, and 6th some games. So it's just that's hard just because you're sitting there in a chair, eating sunflower seeds, whatever it is, And then all of a sudden you hear on the walkie-talkie, let's get Jennings going.
Yeah.
So you just have to basically get up from sitting in a chair like we are right now to throwing as hard as you can within, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 2 minutes. Whereas opposed to a starter, you have, basically all day to just prepare for – my first pitch is at 7:05 tonight. So I've got all day to prepare for first pitch at 7:05. So, the preparation as far as from a physical side of it is just way easier as a starter.
Yeah.
But, as you get used to it as a reliever, it's, it becomes kind of second nature.
Let's wrap up just talking about the future and where things go. Are you staying with the Rangers organization? Kind of walk us ahead and then give us a look at what's coming up.
Well, I'll be officially able to elect free agency the 5th day after the World Series ends, whenever that is. Most of the time the 1st of November. And then start fielding calls about, maybe getting a job again for next year. It might be with the Rangers or it could be with all the other 29 teams.
Might be with Astros.
You never know.
You just made Chris's day, right?
Note to GM.
How's that business side of it? I mean, I'm sure you have an agent that works through a lot of that, but for you, what's that like?
It can be pretty nerve-wracking. Last year in 23, so I missed the second half of the year with kind of my arm bothering me a little bit, and I didn't throw from, maybe the end of June, 1st of July until the rest of the year. And then I was a free agent last year too. So going into free agency, I was just like nervous kind of because I was like, I missed the second half of the year. I don't know if anybody's going to want to take a chance on getting somebody like damaged goods for the most part. So I was kind of, worried about that. But, this year I had a good year. Threw a lot of innings out of the bullpen, which is always a plus. So, Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It might be, like I said, it might be with the Rangers, might be with the Astros, might be with,
Casey sent me a
anybody.
message, and he said, reach out to the Cardinals.
My dad would probably like the Cubs to reach out, being a big Cubs fan. But, wherever I'm supposed to go, that's where I'll go, and, it'll work out.
I was tickled to death when he went to the Yankees, but knowing, having followed the Yankees long enough, I'm happy probably that you got out of there. So he did a long run, but
it's hard to get to the big leagues with the Yankees.
Yeah.
There's a
What are your thoughts right now? Where do you think you will be 25?
I know you'll like to hear this, but my wife has a gut feeling that that the Astros are gonna call.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
You definitely just made his day. He's going to be on cloud 9 the rest of the day.
I'll start making trips. I'm in that retirement mode stage, whatever.
I'm all for it. I am absolutely all for it. Steven, we know you're a busy guy, and we thank you so much for taking a few minutes and sharing some of your story with us. And, man, we're all pulling for you. I'll be honest with you. When I eat lunch every day, I got my sports pages I check online, and I followed – I think it's Lone Star Ball or something would have a minor league update every day just to see, did Steven play last night? I've been tracking you all season long, and it's been exciting to watch your progress, and we're just rooting for you and get to the big leagues and we'll take the DC Blitz on the road. We'll have to, but we're really excited for you. Congratulations up to this point, and good luck in the future as well.
Thank you.
Steven Jennings has been our guest. We'll come back. We've got the announcement of the Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week and more. This is DC Blitz, and we're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decabinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
At First Bank, when our customers bank local, they get more empowered, more informed. Local banking gets them closer to their goals and dreams because they work directly with bankers who know them. With less layers and more personal connection. We're a local bank brand that goes the distance to get customers where they want to be. Which is why we got into banking in the first place. Stop by First Bank at 200 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, or give us a call at 615-597-4366. First Bank. Bank local. Get more.
Tennessee Fleet provides automotive sales and installation of equipment, lighting, vinyl, graphics, accessories, and more. Some of our services include sales and installation of vehicle graphics and decals, car audio, custom wheels and tires, storefront window wraps, fleet and commercial equipment, car, boat, and ATV accessories. Learn more about the services offered at Tennessee Fleet by visiting our website, TennesseeFleet.com, or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Blitz, and all DeKalb Sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Want a mower that's tough enough to break all the rules? Want everything without sacrificing anything? Want performance for the long haul at an unbeatable value? The perfect balance of power and performance? You want a bad boy mower. Packed with power, muscle, simplicity, and comfort the pro in you demands. It's your time. You deserve a bad boy. Bad Boy Mowers. Mow with an attitude. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Oh my God.
DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. I play this for you and for Chelsea Shaw.
If that works, it's a tradition from the rest of the year.
Well, I ain't banking on it, but I'll take it. I will take it. Oh, we're back for our final segment here on the Blitz. Big thanks to Steven Jennings for stopping by and sharing some of his story. And, there are so many more things I know we could have talked to him about as far as his career. But, man, I tell you what, I've just been excited to be able to follow what he's done so far. And he's worked hard. And I mean, I don't think we could even fathom just how much hard work. You play college athletics. I know you know how tough that is.
In college, I mean, you don't have a job for a reason. Playing basketball was my job.
Yeah.
Like, you're expected to be there. The NCAA is really nice. You have to have a day off. They have to give you a day off in the week. But other than that, I mean, you're there. I was asking him about being homesick and stuff because the first year that I went, I was like, I loved it until about October. And then once you got to October, you couldn't go home. I mean, I got a day for Thanksgiving. And I got 2 days for Christmas. And
Wow.
You're expected to be there, and you're practicing. And college, there's nothing going on past December 10th. And so you're just and you have to move out of the dorms. So you're moving to a hotel room, and you have to stay in a hotel room. You're on a per diem the whole time. It's crazy how when you go to the next level, it's a job. Like, that's the hardest thing about keeping these kids in sports once they get out of high school, because in high school, you go to school all day and you have practice for an hour. No, you'll do 2 a days starting in October, and you're practicing 3 or 4 hours a day, not to mention schoolwork.
And we did not talk to Steven about having a scholarship offer from Ole Miss that he turned down to sign the contract with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And to jump from a high school level to professional. I mean, I don't care if you're in rookie ball or what, you're going from high school to pro ball. You're skipping that secondary step that basketball has, that football has, and it's just, and that's why I wanted to ask that question. What, you make that jump, what are the adjustments? And washing his clothes, that was pretty funny. But, you've got to go, from something he touched on. I threw hard because I threw harder than, other players just couldn't hit it. Now you're having to learn technical parts of the game, stuff he probably would have learned on the collegiate level, I'm sure, coming up. But you're handed that right then and there, and everything probably you've done in the last 4 years of high school, it's not that it's gone out the window, but some of it has, because here you are, you've got to learn this to be able to move on to that next level.
And again, there are two different agendas, because even in your high school, program and your coach, it's the W.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this pitcher maybe in some situations, and I'm going to give him more pitches, because he's the best option that I have, and I may risk an injury to his arm. And then you start hearing Steven talk about, the rookie league, and they're more concerned about the development, and they're not concerned about the W or the home run that you give up on a changeup that you really don't want to throw.
Yeah.
So it's two completely different things, and just super proud of him and wish him all the luck.
All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk a little basketball real quick. As this week, thankfully, fall break will be over and sports are back in session.
Not thankfully.
And you're excited, Kelly. I know, because you're going to get to. In fact, Tuesday, I think, is your first game. Yes. The Best at the West tournament gets underway, sponsored by the Alexandria Lions Club down at DeKalb West School. Lady Bulldogs will play Avery Trace on Tuesday, 5 o'clock, and your Bulldogs go up against Friendship. And give us a little preview of your boys' team. What's it looking like this season?
Now, I try not to. I don't want to overtalk them, because if then I look stupid if we don't come out. But I feel I had a great team last year. Lost Porter, Drew, and Carson, who are all playing high school basketball now. I'm trying to think. Did I have another 8th grader? I think I only had the 3. If I did, I'm sorry. Oh, I had Dominic Williamson, which he plays football. But I had, those 3 kids who came in, and which Porter and Drew played quite a bit as 7th graders. They came in and held it down. So now I'm pretty much starting with Levi was really my only returning starter. Maddox ended up starting towards the end of the year. Some things happened with practice and this and that, and he ended up earning a starting spot. I think just because my assistant coach was adamant. He's like, you need to start him because I don't want anybody to think I give him favoritism. But this year I have 3 8th graders, Levi Cripps, who did a majority of our scoring last year along with Porter. So I expect a lot of leadership out of him. And then we have Maddox, Pyburn, and Caden Mullinax. And they didn't see a ton of play in time, but I expect them to pick up where they left off. Caden played a lot of AAU this summer and has really improved. And then I have some 7th graders. Landon Holmes is coming in. He played quite a bit as a 6th grader. We play 5th and 6th grade ball, and then 7th and 8th. One advantage we do have over the middle school is we do have the 5th grade. Mm-hmm. So I've had these kids since 5th grade. So I feel like I've got Lucas Noakes, this is his first year playing. And he has surprisingly came along, and I've got another little boy named Aiden Garcia, and he is a defensive, if I can keep him out of foul trouble. But I'm really optimistic about this year. I'm hoping that we will pull it all together. We've only had one practice where everybody's there.
Wow.
Just with injuries and football and cross country. We just haven't had everybody there, but I'm really optimistic, and I'm really hoping that having a week off, they're just going to come out and do what they're supposed to. Probably not to what I want them to, but we're going to play a very good Friendship team. Of course, they're a private school. We played them back in the summer at camp, and we, I think, beat them by 1 point. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we will be able to hopefully we've gotten better. Hopefully they're just now getting their football kids back, and hopefully we can get a win in that game on Tuesday.
So with the Best at the West, you've got junior varsity and varsity games going on that do start on Tuesday. Is this kind of a preseason? Is it all basically preseason?
We market it as a preseason tournament because of MSSAA. Some of these schools cannot play in a tournament yet. So we call it a preseason tournament. This is, I wish I meant to call and ask. I want to think that they started this when I was in 5th or 6th grade, which would have been the early 90s, started having this tournament. The Lions Club does an excellent job of putting on this tournament. They have the best concession stand around. If you want some Bronson's barbecue like you have at the fair, you can just come down one night to the ball game.
Bronson's barbecue.
And I mean, they have the best concession stand because it's kind of funny when these teams come back in for the regular season. They're like, "Where's the concession stand?" And I'm like, "It left with lots of." But the Lions Club, this is a great. This is one of their fundraisers that they do. I think most of this goes for the Christmas that they do for all the kids. But it's such a good tournament. These guys come and work it. All I have to do is schedule the games. We picked up doing 5th and 6th a few years ago, just because it's some more games. I think we have 41 games over the next 6 days. So excited about it. We do a 2-game guarantee, so teams are going to get to play at least 2 games. Some get to play more. Some just play the 2 games and they're out. But I actually put my 7th grade boys in a bracket by themselves because I have so many of them. That way they get a couple of games in, and we're just excited about it.
That's awesome, and a lot of good basketball is going to be played, as you mentioned, over the course of those few days at the Best at the West tournament. We do have the brackets available on the DC Blitz Facebook page, so you can go there and get the schedule of games. We also have your regular season schedule posted. DeKalb Middle School will start their basketball season also on Tuesday as they will travel over to play Smith County. They will be playing in the Keith Williams Classic in Gordonsville starting on Thursday. So DeKalb West and DeKalb Middle both. And I know Chris is dying to ask Coach Kelly a question. He's just been sitting there biding his time to ask a question of Coach Kelly. Coach.
It's something that you've touched on. And this happens, and it's really no one's fault. But you go into great detail about the Bulldogs. Talk a little bit about the Lady Bulldogs and perhaps some problems or that just the situation. Explain the situation a little bit more because it's amazing to me, and you are so true and correct. If your percentage of females in the building is way, way down, then that's going to have a huge impact on the amount of success you do have or you do not have.
So as I teach at the school, see all the kids every day. Our 5th, 6th, and 7th grade is extremely boy heavy, which is there's 75% of those grades are boys. So I think we did get a couple more in the last month or so. But at one time, there were only 42 girls in those 3 grades. And you've also got cheer going on. And you've got some kids that play soccer and play basketball. There are not very many girls. I think the girls have, which I only have 3 boys on the basketball team, but I have 9 7th graders. The girls' team have 2 8th graders, 1 7th grader, 2 6th graders, and like 9 5th graders.
Wow.
The girls start getting heavy again in 5th, 4th grade. Second, then you go back to 3rd grade is very boy heavy, but then you go back to 1st grade is kind of equal. And if you don't have the athlete, I mean, it's just like everybody always asks, why does the West School not play the middle school? Because I'm choosing from 20 kids and they're choosing from 200 kids.
Yeah. Right.
And you just can't compete. And there's no sense. I taught in Smith County for 10 years and that whole Gordonsville-Carthage rivalry. There's a reason those 2 schools have never joined together. And these kids have got to come together in high school. You want them to not hate each other or not have bad experience. Parents play some roles in that because parents are competitive and they want their child, to do the best. And so the girls are going to struggle this year. They're going to get better. They're going to get better because they've got some good 5th grade girls. It's just the score is not going to show how much improvement they do have. And we graduated 4 8th graders last year. I know Sophie ended up going to Smith County, but the two, Camille and Camille Barton, which plays on the high school team, and then I think Autumn tried out, but I'm not real sure. We did have 4 8th graders leave last year, and they played as 7th graders. So you're just turning around a team. It's a rebuilding year. It's going to be kind of like what Coach Peltit's going to deal with next year with football. You've put all this time into those 7th and 8th graders, and now they're 8th graders and they're gone. You're going to have to start over with something, and that's what Coach Chapman is just going to have. She's having to start over, and that's hard on her. It's her first year, and I'm trying to help, but I'm not there for their practices. That's when my bus route is. So I think the girls will improve as the year goes along. They've got some really good 5th graders. And they got some feisty 5th graders. I mean, those girls have been in this junior pro league. They've played some AAU, so they know what they're doing. It's going to be hard matching up 8th graders. But as y'all all know, girls right now, the girls are maturing out faster than the boys. Most of the girls are taller than my boys until about April. And I'm like, can y'all just please grow now and not in April? Nobody needs you to be tall in April, but that's what's happening. So I feel like the girls will improve as the year goes along. They're going to take their lumps, but they've had success over the past 2 years, so that's just kind of part of the up and down of junior high basketball.
Yep. So 2-part, and then I'll leave you alone.
No, you're fine.
How much fundamentals will you teach? Do you need to teach your 5th graders to help them progress? And the second part of that is, what can junior pro or what can they do before they become 5th graders that's really going to help you out as a coach?
Well, I don't know who does junior pro in Smithville. I do the junior pro at DeKalb West. We do ours completely different than what they do up here. The only thing, and I would dare say Coach Quarles might say the same thing, stop loading up a team and beating the crap out of everybody else. And I hate to say that, but a lot of these, let's us 3 coach and our kids. And yes, that's great for your kids, but they're also not learning how to play. I mean, Casey, AG, and I we've known each other since, I don't know, right after birth probably. But we've been together, but we were never on the same team except for in school ball. We were always on the opposite team, and it pushed us. It made us better. And that is the only thing that I could say about junior pro. And maybe they do it. I don't know. My kids don't play junior pro up here. We played at the West School. I don't have time to get them to practices midweek and Saturdays for games. We just never did do that. But teach the kids the fundamentals, because I'm getting them as 5th graders, and I'm having to teach them how to dribble and how to shoot the correct way. And they hate me. And I'm like, the way you shoot is terrible. We're not doing that. We're going to change it. And you're having to change it. And it's not their fault. And we try to do a little bit in PE, but I have an entire class of 50-something kids. I can't teach 2 or 3 kids how to shoot every day. That's all we would be doing. But I really wish they would make the teams a little more competitive. And we play a lot in our junior pro. We play a lot of 4-on-4. We take that extra person out of it, and it forces those 4 kids to play together. Sometimes you can always hide that 5th person, but they're not getting any better. Mm-hmm. Put them on another team and let them get better. Let them, develop. They just don't play outside enough. They don't anymore. I mean, I'm sure football and baseball say the same thing. These kids just don't go outside and play to get better. They all want to play, and us 3 are going to be on the same team, and we're going to beat the 3 kids that have never played. Okay, yeah, you won, but did you get any better?
Right, and that should be the main focus.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's the only way you're going to get kids. That's the only way your kid's going to get better. In a game.
And to kids that are, when you stack them up and the kids are on the team are getting beat down, they're not going to want to be part of that. No. They're going to give it up because they're like, I don't go out here and get beat by 50.
Well, and then and with that saying that, I noticed a couple years ago there was a group and they kind of did that with them. Well, it's kind of bit them because those 5 or 6 kids that were always put on the same team, now one of them doesn't play football anymore. So you knocked out 2 kids that would have played football if you'd invested time in them because they weren't in the group. they got left out, and so now you've got these 5 kids, and they get to high school, and I don't want to play basketball anymore, and I don't want to play baseball anymore, and I don't want to play football anymore. Well, now you've lost. Now you're down to 2 kids that have played these sports together, and you don't have anybody else to go with them because you never invested that time in that one kid. That's like, I mean, I'll talk about Maddox a little bit. Maddox is not my best shooter. He's not my best defensive player. Lord have mercy, he can't play defense. But he knew last year if he was going to play, he had to rebound. And the same thing for my daughter. I've taught her, I was like, you have to rebound. If you'll be the best rebounder, you'll get playing time. I mean, I can't think of his name right now. He had crazy hair. He played for the Bulls. Dennis Rodman. He made millions of dollars being the best rebounder in the NBA.
Yep.
He wasn't the best shooter. He wasn't the best. He
was a psychopath. That's what he
was.
But he was good at what?
He was good at the one thing you needed him. You needed somebody on the team to be good at.
Yep.
And we got to do that with these other kids. We can't all have the kids that score 50 points because the kids that score 50 points need somebody to pass them the ball.
Yep.
And they need somebody to play defense.
Absolutely. But anyway, get out and go to the Best of the West. Support the kids and get some of Bronson Lawrence's barbecue because I promise you it's well worth it. So, all right, everybody screaming at me because last week, guess who forgot to announce the Student Athlete of the Week? I did. But
we remembered it. We were just packed up.
We were packed up and leaving, and we were like, oh, hey, we forgot something. So last week's winner was Landon Brown for DeKalb Middle School cross country. You may have seen that on the Blitz page. Today, our nominees were Madeline Martin from the DCHS football cheerleading squad, Colton Hutchings, DeKalb County Jr Pro, who was with us this morning, had a couple of big catches and one touchdown that was actually called back in the 14-0 championship win. And then we had Kanan Humphrey and Turner Stanley of the DeKalb County fishing team. They won first place and had the biggest fish in their first ever junior Tennessee bass fishing youth fishing tournament. I thought this was impressive. The combined weight was 14.62 of the 5 fish they caught, and that was around 12 pounds more than second place. And I know we talked a little fishing last week, so that was pretty impressive. So through the fan vote and through our panel, this week's winner of the Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week is actually going to be a co-winner. It is Kanan Humphrey and Turner Stanley. That's the selection for this week's Good Health Family Clinic Student Athlete of the Week, and that's the first time we'll have a co-winner on that. But of course, they as a team, and you actually got a little fishing update, I think.
Yes, they're fishing the high school and the junior high now. Kanan and Turner are fishing a different trail than the junior high team. I'm not exactly sure what trail, but the junior high team is actually fishing today. And I know Grady Thomason and Maddox Pyburn are a team. And then Aiden Cook and Cohen Trammell, I think. Let me look.
You were trying to say that name earlier, I think.
I think it's Cohen. If I'm saying it wrong, I am so sorry. Yes, Cohen Trammell. They are fishing. I know I did get a message from Maddox's captain that they have one keeper. So I will be going to weigh in. The high school team is fishing as well. Let me check my notes. Mason and Wesley, Rowan and Tyler, Braden and Bill and Jacob and Slade are all fishing. They are on Old Hickory. It's cold and windy. They were delayed about an hour because of the fog. So I'm wishing these boys some good luck. I will be at weigh-in, so I'll have some pictures.
All right. Well, send them to us, and we'll post them, of course, on the Blitz page. Hey, if you've got pictures, videos, if you're out at games and snap some photos and want to send them to us, we would love to put them on the Blitz page. Folks like Cole and Nathan, the Junior Pro, have been just fantastic to send us stuff. Golf parents, their run through the regular season and the postseason were great to share with us. We all work full-time jobs. Kelly works like 9 jobs, so it's just not possible to get out and cover a lot of games, but we want to get information out there. Share your pictures, share your videos, share your information. Send it to us through Facebook, or you can send it via email, DC Blitz Sports, altogether, DC Blitz Sports at gmail.com. You can email us that information, and we miss stuff. I mean, we're trying to keep up with as much as we can, but just like fishing, up until last week, I didn't know a thing about it, and Kelly got us in the know on that. But we want to share as much information as we can, so be sure to share it with us here on DC Blitz. All right, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
We
I
remembered everything.
thought you had a little tidbit. Nothing?
No, I don't. Like I said, I'm super excited. My son's got a keeper.
She's going to weigh some fish.
I'm going to weigh in here in a few minutes. I got to figure out where I'm going, somewhere in Mount Juliet.
All right, Coach. Anything?
I've just got some honeydews to take care of before the ball game tonight, and one of those is to call Houston. And make sure they're aware of,
we have a problem.
at least a wife's interest in their organization. I'm not sure Steven's a big fan, but
I bet Casey has already called Cincinnati, and you're already behind.
But it's okay.
Yeah. Houston, we have a prospect. We want to thank our producer, Daniel Leslie, for pushing all the buttons. We're going to be without Daniel next week, so I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll get through.
You see a big plume of smoke come up.
We'll know why for sure. Want to thank our sponsors, DeKalb County Insurance, DeKalb Title, First Bank, Homes Group Incorporated, Love Cantrell Funeral Home, Ranger Brake, Smithville First Baptist Church, Southern Landscape Supply, Town and Lake, Realty and Auction, and thank all the folks out there for tuning in to DC Blitz. Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for sharing on our program. For the coach, Chris Vance, for Kelly, I'm Tom. We'll see you next week on the Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.